Ladies and gentlemen, howdy and aloha. We were here, you were there, and you are now rocking with the best. Thanks for tuning in to another live episode of Airey Bros Radio. Today we're taking off the spikes, breaking down the blizzard in Fort Dodge, recapping the NJCAA Division II Cross Country National Championship, and a true dynasty in the making with Coach Jim Robinson. Before we get rolling, y'all know the drill. This is a value for value show, so if you're getting any value out of anything we're doing over here, please click on that link to buy us a coffee, give us a little value back. Make sure you hammer that like button and are subscribed on YouTube. Drop a comment, every view and review, and share helps us grow and get back to the sports we love. Follow us on Instagram at Airey Bros Radio, and make sure you're subscribed on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. As always, this episode is fueled by Black Sheep Endurance for all your ultramarathon and nutrition coaching needs. And as always, we're here to shine a light on the programs, athletes, coaches we wish we had access to growing up. Most of the Power 5 schools are gobbling up the headlines, but we know there are elite programs doing big things in the NJCAA, the NAIA, Division II, and Division III and beyond. If you're an athlete or a parent looking for the right next level fit, not just the logo, you're in the right place. On to tonight's guest, Coach Jim Robinson is back with us again to close out the cross-country season. We're heading back to Lansing with the three-peat championship. On November 8th at Fort Dodge and Lansing Community College, Stars claimed their third straight NJCAA Division II men's national title, scoring just 32 points, the only team under 100. Freshman Nate Carmody finished second, with Lucas Hopkins finishing third, and Evan, oh boy, that's a tough one. Coach, how do you say that one? Suydam in fifth. Three All-Americans in the top five, all in the 30-degree snow and classic Fort Dodge chaos. He's the architect of an LCC dynasty built on Michigan toughness and a culture of trust, excellent hard work, and fun. Back to break down the three-peat and what's next for the Stars. Coach Jim Robinson, welcome back to Airey Bros Radio. We do appreciate your time.
Oh, it's great to be here. Good to see you guys again.
Absolutely. Coach, it was awesome to see you, and it's awesome to see you. It was awesome to watch. One more time before we get too far into it, anywhere you want us to send recruits or anything like that, the floor is yours.
Yeah, I think the simplest thing is for them to go to lcc.edu and then click on Campus Life, and underneath that there is an athletics tab, and there's information there how to contact me, how to contact the coaches, and there's a link to a recruitment form. So that's probably the best way, lcc.edu.
Okay, we'll put that in the show notes for you. And Coach, we woke up on Saturday morning. We were all excited to take in a day of cross-country festivities. It looked like it was beautiful on Friday, and the weather was going to maybe cooperate. And then our friend Tony Kreider posted a photo in the morning on Saturday, and it would look like it was snowing. And I texted Jimmy. I said, it's snowing in Fort Dodge. It's going to be madness today. And it did not disappoint. So from our perspective, it looked like the Division III probably had the worst of it in terms of how hard it was coming down. But then on your end, it probably seemed, because there was 4 or 5 other races on the course beforehand, that y'all probably had the worst conditions course-wise in terms of footing. Would that be correct?
Yeah, I think that's accurate. We, of course, were not there early in the morning, but it was snowing really hard early in the morning. I think I saw a little video of the D3 race, and I don't think you could see much more than 20 meters in front of you, and the camera couldn't see much more than 20 meters back to where the runners were. So, I think it was probably snowing harder when they were running, but the course probably got worse as the day went on. So by the time D2 ran late in the afternoon, all the corners were really slippery, and, there parts of the course were packed down with snow, and then other parts were really slick with mud. So not ideal conditions to run fast, but this is cross country.
Absolutely. Was there any last minute spike changes or anything like that due to the conditions?
One of our top guys on the bus ride there. Fortunately, I have one of my other coaches works at a running store, and I had him bring replacement spikes. And one of my top guys came up to me just before the race, and he goes, "Do you think these are okay?" And he had probably quarter-inch spikes that were worn down the nubs. And I said, "No, we got to get those out." So I think that he was probably the only one that had not changed his spikes in the last couple of weeks. So yes, that would have been bad had he not changed his spikes.
Yeah.
Coach, but no, we were prepared, and I think we had the right length spikes. If you go too long and you're not used to that, I think you're at a risk of tripping yourselves.
Yeah.
And and the mud, even if you had half-inch spikes, when you're in that slick mud, you're going to slide regardless, I think. So yeah, I think our spikes were about as good as we could get, and for the conditions.
Mm-hmm. Coach, it didn't look like the stars were affected at all. Did the game plan change at all?
Not too much. We wanted to get out. If you look across the start line there, they have a lot of teams and a lot of runners. So it's a really large field. So, had it been really windy conditions, there's that long straightaway after the first turn. Had it been really windy, we might have sat back just a little bit more. But with the snow, we wanted to be up near the front so that you could choose your footing, and we were able to do that. I mean, if you look at the video, we had 6 guys up there, I think, early in the race, so we were in good position. The one runner from Cowley was out even by the time they made the first turn. He already had quite a big lead, and we had talked about that. On paper, there were a couple guys that we thought might go really hard from the start, and we wanted to secure the team win, and our guys were willing to do that. I think I had a few guys that if the circumstances were different and we weren't going for the team title, might have gone with him and might have given him a race. But we wanted to secure the team title, and with the course and the condition it was, we wanted to be out near the front. It wasn't really windy. That was the one plus. Usually, at least the last time I was in Fort Dodge, it was really windy, west to east, and there's some long straightaways, and you would want to be tucked in, not out in the front in that circumstance. But without the wind and with the course slick like it was, we wanted to be up near the front and dictate the pace. So, and our guys they did a great job of accomplishing that.
With a 32-point total, from an outsider's perspective, it looks as if everything went directly according to plan. Were there any hiccups, or did everything play out the way that you had thought it would?
Well, I told him afterward. He said, "I don't like being anxious, and I could tell when we were a K into the race that we were in pretty good shape." So, no, it went according to plan. I mean, individually, you have 7, and I think the one big advantage we had was that my 7 are fairly interchangeable. So I thought Jesse Carson was going to have a really good race, and he was in that top 5. But midway through, he started losing some ground. But the good news was Quaid. He's the one guy that runs better, starting a little easier. He's kind of like our safety valve at the back, and then he starts rolling. And I yelled at him about midway, "Quaid, we're going to need you." And he gave me the look that, "Okay, coach, I got you." So First off, I knew Jesse wouldn't fade too far. He is as tough as they come. And, he was not going to give up too much ground. And I knew he would fight back over the last part and start passing guys. And so if we had to score Jesse, we still would have scored well. But Quade really moved up and ended up 13th. He was probably in 40th at the mile. And then Aiden James, he could have been in our top three, but he had an off day. But as I said, the strength of our team is that I have actually 8-9 guys that were interchangeable. I had 2 guys that didn't get to run that I think could have done really well. And we always had 4 up there. And like I said, when Jesse started losing a little ground, Quade was making up ground. So I knew we were in good shape. They made it easy for me. I didn't have to worry.
They sure did.
They did. They made it look easy too. 9 titles, 3 in a row. Couple weeks to think on it. What's this one mean to you?
Well, I think each of them is special, and obviously for the athletes themselves, each group is different. So it's neat for them to have this opportunity to make a lifelong memory and have this sort of accomplishment in their NJCAA career. But I knew going in. I mean, last year, I think when we talked before, I said how remarkable last year's team was, because the 7 runners on the line last year, of those 7, none of them had any experience running in a national championship. And two of my top guys, Nate Carmody and Jesse Carson, Nate was injured and Jesse was sick, so they didn't get to run. So last year's team was, I think, really remarkable that they had the belief in themselves and to win the national title. Then coming back, I had all that experience from last year, plus Jesse Carson, plus Nate Carmody, plus 2 guys that had been on the 2023 team, Evan Suydam and Quade Shimitz. So going in, we on paper, and of course races are not run on paper, and seasons are not made on paper. But going into this season, we knew we had probably the strongest group of athletes we've ever had at LCC. But they didn't take that for granted. They went to work, and I think worked even harder than they did last year, and really prepared well. It's when you win, it's a special feeling the whole way around. But this was a really great group of young men, and super pleasure to coach. They really like each other. They hang out a lot and support each other even when they're not training and running together.
Coach, as a cross-country fan, when you're on course, you're getting your own run in just to spectate, to get from point to point. When you're in South Carolina and in Florida watching from afar, you get in real-time updates with the 1K splits, and each kilometer you're getting updates, but then you're also getting real-time feedback on the team scores. Are you utilizing that at all? Or are you old school and just eyeballing it? And
I just eyeball it. I have to admit, I'm terrible with my cell phone. I did put the timing, the timing company in my cell phone so I could get the results quicker at the end. But I never pulled it out during the race, and I still try to get to as many points in around the course as I can. So. Yeah. I'm still out there cheering and yelling.
Yeah, that's fun. That's the best part. I'm curious.
No, it is great.
Coach, how many guys do you have coming back for next year's squad?
Oh yeah, I mean, again, going into this season, I had an abundance of talent. Out of the 7 that ran, they're all sophomores, so they've all used up their eligibility. But we've had a great tradition, and we won in 2024 with no one having any experience, having run in a national championship. But it will definitely be a challenge next year to see if we can win a 4-peat. But we're going to try. I mean, and I think the guys, I have a pretty talented group of freshmen that will be eager to see what they can do. Yeah, they didn't. It was all sophomores this year, so I took 2 guys to the race who weren't going to run just so that they could see what it was, and they'll bring back the excitement and share that with the other guys. And I know they're already out there, getting in their base training this winter in preparation for next fall. I'm pretty confident in that.
Of those 7 gentlemen that are sophomores and graduating, have they decided on where they're going to continue their running careers?
So none of them has, coaches, if you're listening, none of them have committed anywhere. I've just talked to a few of them today to, see what they're thinking. Most of my runners like to stay in Michigan, but I've had runners go to Florida and Colorado, and had one of my women go to Oregon, not the University of Oregon, but to a school in Oregon. So yeah, I'm hoping all that, with the changes in the NCAA Division I and the smaller rosters, we'll see how that affects things. One of my runners, I think, wanted to go to not that he's set on running at the D1 level, but the school where he wanted to go is a D1 school, and they're only going to have 12 people on their roster. So, as good as he is, I'm not sure he's going to get one of those spots. And that's kind of a shame in a way. I mean, I don't really understand. Well, I do understand the reasoning behind it, but I guess I don't agree with the reasoning behind it. Having roster limits. I like college football, but it doesn't make sense when you need 22 players in football, and you can have, I think it's unlimited now, and yet somehow they're telling cross country teams they can only have, I think in the SEC it's 10, and in the Big Ten it's 17, but a lot of them are setting limits even lower than that.
Yeah. Any chance we could see?
But no, none of them have chosen a school. Yeah. But I'm eager to see them continue.
Any chance we can see some stars becoming Lakers up there at Grand Valley with Coach Baltez?
I think so. We haven't had too many people go to GVSU, but I have some people that I think would, make the transition well. And we did, we actually ran against GVSU at Muskegon, and it was their, I'm not sure whether it was their B team, but it wasn't their top group. But we actually beat them in a tiebreaker at Muskegon. So he saw some of our guys up front, and I wouldn't mind seeing some go and run for Jerry. That'd be great.
Coach, I read on the school's website an interview you did. You said that the men looked like they had fun out there. What was the mindset of getting guys to run in the freezing cold snow and have fun?
Yeah. Well, we talk about that all the time. I have these little catchphrases, and I usually say, have fun, run fast, just before the race. And those things go together. And again, the 4th point on my coaching philosophy is having fun. So obviously running in those conditions is not easy, but that doesn't preclude it being fun. And one of the things I talk to them about regularly is mental preparation. And one of the things, if you listen to interviews of champion runners at any level, one commonality is that regardless of the conditions, in their thinking, and this might not be backed up by circumstance, but in their thinking, whatever the condition is, it's in their favor. So, if it's windy, I'm good. I'm going to do well because that's in my favor. If it's, hot and humid, I'm going to do well because I'm a good hot, humid weather runner. If it's snowy and slippery, that's in my favor. So my hunch is probably not a single one of the 300 plus runners on that line had ever run a race in the snow. I don't think any of my runners had run a race in the snow. We get snow in Michigan, and they've run in the snow, but they probably never run a race in the snow. But to a runner, they all believed when they saw the snow on Saturday morning that, this is in our favor. This is, so, they had that mindset going in. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be fun. We're just gonna go out there and run hard and have fun, and they did it.
Coach, I've run 2 races in the snow. One of them was my NJCAA national championship at Alfred State back in 1995, and the other one was on the golf course at Penn State at State College for the NCAA. I guess back then it might have been called the districts, but the region meet, the Mid-Atlantic region meet. And at the NJCAA meet, I had fun. And Penn State, I did not have fun, and that was all due to my mindset for sure.
Mindset. No, I missed where your NJCAA meet was.
Alfred State in Alfred, New York.
Oh, okay, yeah. I've been to Alfred, New York.
Yeah, it was a monster of a course.
That had to be hilly.
It had some big hills.
That had to be hilly. Yes.
Yeah, Coach, I was a tyke back then, and we walked the course the day before, and our shoes were all muddy. We were up to our knees because it was all muddy. Yeah, that was a brutal course.
Oh yes, no. So they did. I mean, they were not going to be deterred. And like I said, they got up to the front. 2 of my guys went down. I actually saw both of them go down. And I told them beforehand, if you go down, you just bounce right up and get going. In both cases, they were sliding forward when they went down, so they didn't lose much ground. And then I think Nate got hit by a golf cart. There was a golf cart that cut across the course. It was not the lead cart, I don't think. And I guess he wasn't paying attention where he was going. And I don't think he didn't run over Nate, but, Nate bumped into the back of it or the side of it. So, it didn't go perfectly, but again, we talk about that, not getting hit by a golf cart, but hey, if something happens that's unexpected, you get up and keep running. You roll and get back up.
Coach,
or in this case, slide.
Yeah. Coach, we know you guys had your postseason banquet already, but in Fort Dodge, did you guys get to celebrate?
That was one downside. With it being that cold, they did the awards on the deck of the clubhouse, and there were some fans down below, but most of the other teams were heading to their vans or buses because it was. I mean, by the time the end of the race, everyone was wet and cold, and our guys were wet and cold, and they might not have been feeling it because they were in a celebratory mood. But so the awards were a little bit anticlimactic, and then our plan was to hit the road and drive partway back. So, we got on the bus as soon as we could and went for about 3 hours before we stopped for the night. But they were having fun on the bus. As I said, they really like each other. They enjoy each other's company, and but it would have been fun to have the traditional award ceremony outside before all the other teams took off.
Coach, is there anything about the championship that we haven't covered that you want our audience to know?
Trying to think. No, I think I mentioned all my guys. Nate Carmody obviously ran second, ran really well. I mentioned that our strategy was to secure the team title before we went after anyone who might be up front. Oh, I didn't mention Lucas Hopkins. He never gets mentioned. Evan Suydam and Nate get mentioned, but Lucas, was second for us. I don't think he was ever lower than third or fourth this year. And he's more of a mid-distance runner, but has made the transition to being a true cross-country runner really well. And then I mentioned Quade. Quade's just a big-time championship runner. He came from a high school that was always in the mix here in Michigan to be regional champ or state champ. And so he had a lot of experience coming in, being counted on, the every point matters type attitude, and every big race he steps up and delivers. And then Logan Zahn, who was our fourth runner, again, he was our top runner last year, 10th last year, 11th this year, but he's had a really good, consistent season. And then Aiden James and Jesse Carson. Ben March was our eighth guy. Had he run, I think he possibly could have been top 15 as well. But they're going to let me have 7 on the line. But
Coach, with the landscape of the NJCAA, maybe not as much in the Division II as the Division I, but we do see, some international student athletes that are competing, and it's got to make you feel proud that you're doing it all with Michigan kids.
Yeah, I am proud of that. They're all from Michigan high schools. Most of them are from right around Lansing. Of course, that it helps that Michigan is talent rich with distance runners. I've never actually done a study of this, but I would I tell people that I think per capita we have the best distance runners in the country. So, and I think if someone did the research on that, I think I'd be proven right. If you took our top 100 boys times in high school and matched them up, by per capita, I think we'd score really well. So that helps. Obviously, if you're in a more sparsely populated part of the country, you don't have the talent that we have in Michigan. But no, I'm really proud of the fact that we do it with local kids. Again, I would take if a international runner fell into my lap, I wouldn't turn him away. But again, one of the things that we pride ourselves is in year-over-year improvement, and that's been really the key to our success is helping guys come into their own. And each runner has a little different time table. But I think Evan Suydam is a good example of that. I think his PR in high school and cross was 16:53. That's a good time, but I don't think that would, in some coaches' minds, project to being one of the top runners in the nation in the NJCAA. So, yeah. So, yeah, no, I'm very, very proud of our Michigan kids.
Do the kids take pride in that as well?
Oh, yes, absolutely. And I remind them of that. I remind them that, they're representing not just themselves and their families, but an LCC, but, they're representing Michigan, and we're Michigan tough. I'm sure other states think they're, Wisconsin tough or Arizona tough, but that's a point of pride that we're from Michigan, and our sport is about toughness. So And I think sometimes, well, we remind them when we're running in if it's raining or sleeting or really windy, we remind them, hey, there's no one else out there doing in these sorts of conditions, running this hard. So I remember a story that I think it was Frank Shorter told about Pre. Frank, I think, had a place in New Mexico, and he would run up to the top of the ski mountain, and he was doing that with Pre, and it was sleeting and snowing, and Pre evidently was a complainer when he ran, and at a certain point, Frank said, "Hey, there's no one else in the world doing this in this sort of conditions today," and Pre looked at him and thought about it, and just stopped complaining for a little bit. So, I remind our guys of stories like that. That's the advantage of having an old guy, old school coach that's been around for a long time. They have all these stories.
Coach, is there track and field at Lansing?
Yes, and
Yes.
that has helped us as well. When I'm recruiting kids, I tell them it's the sport you're doing is distance running. We just have 2 seasons. One's on on turf in the fall, and one's on a track in the spring. But it's the same sport. It's distance running, and that's helped us. I mean, again, I think it would be hard to recruit someone who's really serious about distance running. I know some. Some schools don't have track, and they have some really good runners, but it just makes it a little easier to recruit when you have both sports.
Will you guys, when will stuff for track be getting underway for you guys?
Yeah, so we have 2 what I call base periods. So, and I believe in taking a break between seasons. So the kids have had their break, and matter of fact, I just sent them an email today reminding them that they should be done with their break and getting back at it if they haven't already gotten back at it. I also believe in having a period of what I call non-specific training, where you're just getting out and running, and you can run a lot and you can run fast, but you just get out the door and you get your mileage up and get the training in. And so we're in that point right now. And then when we get into January, we'll get a little more specific in what we're doing. We don't sponsor indoor. But we have some nice indoor tracks in Michigan. So we'll, as unattached, the kids, drive themselves, carpool, but we usually encourage them to do a couple meets just because indoor is fun and gives them some incentive if they're looking forward to running a race in mid-January and another one in February.
Rich,
and then we'll start up official practice in March. I mean, we they get together and run a lot together through the winter, but we don't have official practice.
Coach, Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Are there any special traditions in the Robinson house that you're looking forward to? Are you a turkey family? Are there any sides that you really enjoy getting into? What is your favorite dessert?
Yes. Actually, Thanksgiving, I think, is my favorite holiday because you just you don't have to have the hassle of, did I pick the right present for this person? You just get together with family and friends and enjoy a good meal. And I like turkey, so I look forward to that every year. I think our dishes are pretty traditional: turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy and stuffing or dressing, and green bean casserole. I'm responsible for the green bean casserole. So cranberry sauce. I like cranberry. So no, there's not a thing in the Thanksgiving repertoire that I don't like.
What's your go-to pie, pumpkin or pecan?
Probably pecan pie would be my favorite, but at Thanksgiving, you at least need pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
Coach Robinson,
So,
thanks for taking time to chat with the Airey Bros tonight. It was great watching the stars in the candy cane uniforms. You guys crushed it. It was awesome following you guys this season, and we'll be in touch, sir. Happy Thanksgiving, too.
all right. Happy Thanksgiving to you and to all your listeners. It's a pleasure. I'm glad I've met you guys, and I'll be following your podcasts.
Well, we appreciate you, Coach. It was great
All right.
watching. Best of luck. Enjoy the holidays. And yeah, we'll be seeing you, following you guys in outdoors.
All right. Thanks so much.
Take
Bye
care.
now.
Have a good night. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is Coach Jim Robinson from Lansing Community College. The Stars were 3-time national champions this year. It was an exciting race. If you haven't seen it, definitely go check it out on YouTube. Go see the snow and the fun in Fort Dodge, and keep an eye on the Stars as they don't rebuild, they reload. So we're excited to see what they do next year at the NJCAA. But we don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves, see what they do in track as well. That is it for us this week. We do appreciate you tuning in. As always, remember this is a value for value show. So if you are getting any value out of anything we're doing over here, please click on that link, buy us a coffee, give us a little bit value back, keep us fueled, and keep us crushing these episodes with all these amazing coaches and these amazing programs. You got something, Jim?
I got something for you, Rich. We've been asking all our guests this week what's their favorite Thanksgiving dish? What do they look forward to at Thanksgiving? I know we're not with the family this year, but what did you look forward to on the Thanksgiving table? What did you look for? Dishes, hors d'oeuvres, anything like that?
Well, I'll tell you one thing I'm looking forward to, and it's something that I don't think we've ever truly had at any of our Thanksgiving festivals, but I'm looking forward to a proper sweet potato casserole.
No. How dare you? The rain's throwing marshmallows at you right now.
I had a hand in it. I looked up the Ruth Chris sweet potato
You
casserole
fancy.
recipe. So we put that together today when I was over there. So I'm excited for that. You know, I like turkey, but a prime rib would be nice as well. Maybe a brisket. I'm down here in the South. But I think at some point the Airey Bros are going to get a smoker in our future, and we'll be doing Thanksgiving a little bit differently. And I was never into pumpkin pie growing up. Just for some reason it didn't appeal to me. I don't know why, but now I do enjoy it. So I'm looking forward to that. And I think there's also an apple streusel that's on the docket for tomorrow, as well as maybe some persimmon cookies that I don't know if I've ever tried, but I'm looking forward to those as well. What about you?
You know what one of my favorite dishes was, and I don't think I would indulge in it these days, but when Aunt Barbara would make the broccoli with the Ritz crackers and the cheese, I always enjoyed that.
That's a good one.
I always enjoyed just like all the hors d'oeuvres, all the hard cheeses and things like that. I'm a sucker for the Rains
Charcuterie board.
charcuterie board. I'm a sucker for the Rains artichoke dip. Um, when it comes to desserts, Prince James does not discriminate on sweets. I'm not, pumpkin pie is not my go-to, but I'll get down on one for sure.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I was having this thought today. I went to Whole Foods. I got a steak and a rotisserie. I don't know which one I'm gonna do tomorrow, but I was
You got to
looking
watch
at.
out for those Whole Food rotisseries that are in plastic bags.
I know. Paul Saladino's flipping right now. I touched a receipt too. Um,
Just wash your hands afterwards.
yeah. That said, I was looking at the turkeys. I was gonna see, hey, maybe I'll get a turkey. $99.
What?
$99. It was already cooked, but you had to like heat it up. But I was like, yeah, I don't honestly, I'm good on turkey. If I never eat turkey for the rest of my life, I don't think I'd have any complaints.
Well, I've said it many times and I'll say it again. The best turkey I ever had was the turkey that cup shot and peat cooked.
There you go.
Wild turkey. That's the best turkey I've ever had. And I would say too, I do love a good bowl of Jones rice pudding.
Yeah, and yes, I will definitely say Aunt Joan has rice pudding like most people haven't had before. Um, that said, you know what else I do? I'll take this back, and again, I don't think I would dabble on it to these days, but you know the Airey family, the Farrells, we're stuffing in the
Not
bird.
really a thing. Most people don't do
Yeah,
that.
no, dude, that's like sacrilege with a lot of people. But I will say those burnt ends
Yep, that's the
on
best
the
part.
oh, that's the and after whoever cuts the turkey, all the greasy turkey that's on the cutting board, that's a good time too.
Well, I do like I do like being the carver these days. Again, I have to go back and thank Pete for watching him do that a couple times, undressing things or carving things up. But I do like doing that and wowing people a little bit because they, I guess, don't think that anyone else can do it. But when they see someone do it, they're like, "Oh, how'd you learn how to do that?"
And I will say, since we're getting nostalgia in the Thanksgiving feels, I have to give a shout out to the Georges because they probably did the best Thanksgiving every year. It was like a big deal, and Mal's a great cook, and the homemade biscuits, and always would get pies from Julian. So yeah, hope everyone has a happy Thanksgiving.
I thought you were talking about the Georges in Long Ranch for a second.
No, I'm talking about the Georges in
I
California.
know, I know. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this live, hope you have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. If you're catching this on the audio, well, then we'll say we hope you have a good holiday and probably be listening to this at some point leading into the Christmas season. So we're grateful for all of you that tune in and listen every week. We're grateful for the people that leave comments and follow along, and the people that Coach Rish at Stockton for buying us a few cups of coffee. We appreciate you tuning in to our episode with Chris Lear. We hope you enjoy all our episodes. And yeah, we're going to keep rocking and rolling here, bringing you the best of the best and all the divisions, all the associations, and shining a light on the people that maybe don't get the shine that they deserve. So, blessings, tidings, whatever else you might say leading into Thanksgiving, but we're grateful for you and we hope you have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow.